Little update for you guys. Back at the quarry site where I did all these splits the other day, and I wanted to just show you this, that the speed of the bees building is just unreal. I cannot believe this, you know. These queens are so good I made last year. Just want to try and get this one out to show you. It's so soft, look. This went in 2 days ago, look. And it's already puffed up and it's full of eggs. I can see eggs in there. It's unreal, you know. It's actually really breezy today, but this is just what I call profiting from the moment. You see the flow coming, you know when it is coming, you get organized and you do what you can. Yes, I admit there's other areas that are not as good as I wanted because I haven't been that organized, but you kind of can't be everywhere. But to get these split at the right time means these now are growing very quickly. They are gonna be transferred to another apiary tomorrow morning, and then these will all go into hives within 2 or 3 days. But when I've transferred them, I'm going to give them a little bit of space and time, just because I've seen before when I've transferred hives, it really upsets the bees. It really moves them kind of deeply. It really fundamentally rocks them, and what happens is you start messing around with the hive and they ball the queen. So they're going to have at least 3 or 4 days before they are transferred. If the weather's really good, and if there's no wind, and if it's warm, and if the nectar flow continues, which it should do, in other words, if they can still forage, 2 or 3 days will be fine, but no less. The problem I found is you're getting your transfers done, and you look down and you find this ball, and it's the queen being balled because the bees are really pissed. They're really annoyed that they've lost all the area knowledge they had, and you've moved them to a new apiary where they've got to rebuild that. And I really find it does make a difference. So if you're ever doing anything to your bees, give them a couple of days once you move them before you start going into the colony. And I've learnt that myself from my losses, you know. I've learnt that because I have transferred colonies, seen them being balled, thought, oh, that's a bit strange, released the queen from the ball of bees, and come back 2 weeks later and it's full of queen cells that have just hatched, and then they've swarmed because of that, because loads of queens were born in the attempt to remake a new queen. They don't know what they're doing, bees, sometimes. They just act really strangely. It's the whole tone of the colony gets affected when you move a nuke from one yard to another. It might well be more than 3 kilometers, but it still upsets the bees. Anyway, just a little observation, something to be aware of, but I'm so pleased with all these. Absolutely great. They're all looking brilliant. They're all being hives. The ones at the top are even stronger there. You can see some of them starting to beard on the front. So I've got some work to do to get all those under control. What I'm actually doing is removing all the top shells you can see, and then those top shells are going to go on the splits I made, so it gives them room to take feed up with feeders, whatever I need to give them. But the flow is so strong, I'm actually going to be giving pollen sub to the splits I made as these queens start laying, because I've got some pollen sub I've mixed up. I'm going to put it on to see if they take it, you know. But that is the result of a really hard split. I left 3 frames in there, and you can see 1, 2, 3 are all rebuilt within 2 days. Absolutely amazing. Just to add, I didn't say clearly in my last video about the splits I was doing. These splits are all going to receive an overwintered queen that I made last summer in my Mini Plus nukes. And this is why I bang on about being sustainable, because it's the way I followed beekeeping, that you make all your bees from your bees. I've only ever bought 3 colonies and bees, and now I've got hundreds of colonies. And yes, I have issues, but that's a learning curve. But the whole idea is these splits that I made, I've taken away from here and left in its place, is all about creating sustainability and knowing your flow, so that you can make a split just at the right time when the bees are really going to explosive mode. You make that split and you give them a queen, and instantly you've got a colony. The queens I'm going to give them were made last summer. They're laying already in my Mini Plus. The Mini Plus will be put one on top of another. So I'll harvest 1 queen and I'll put the body of that Mini Plus on one next door. So I'll be 4 high or 6 high. But it doesn't matter, because in about 3 weeks time, we're going to break them all down again. And then it all starts again. Then we're going to give them all new queens when the queens are raised. But I've got these queens that I overwintered, and I've got the resources to use to help cover my losses over the winter. I'll be back up to my numbers in last autumn very shortly in production hives, because all these are going into production hives. So it just shows you what you can do. Sometimes you lose on one, but look, you're gaining on the other. I've got nukes available, I've got frames of honey available. It's a win-win, because if you're positive and you look around, you think outside the box, you can use your resources and you just create colonies with a little bit of bees and brood in the summer. And that's the key to it. That is the key to sustainability. Enjoy the spring weather if you can. Catch you again soon. Bye for now.